Fala um negócio pra você. Tá chegando o Megafone que hoje vai trazer o Andreson Loa. Aí já depende da interpretação, né? Você pode falar tanto um como o outro, de um jeito ou de outro, vai dar Andreson Loa. E ele vai chegar pra você aqui no programa de hoje pra contar um pouco a história dele. A história do Andreson Loa, ou Andreson Loa, é interessante porque ele nasceu na África, um país que fala francês, mora em Londres. Ele vai falar pra você as inspirações da vida dele. E no Megafone legal é que você conhece histórias de vidas de pessoas ali que você não faz parte assim da sua realidade, né? História de vida de pessoas que não estão nem próximas ali à sua realidade. Então, você vai conhecer a história do Andreson Loa. O problema é que ele falou por 48 minutos e a gente da TV propôs para ele se apresentar para o povo por 5 minutos. Então ele teve 5 minutos para ele se apresentar para as pessoas. Se você achar que vale a pena ficar para a entrevista de 48 minutos, ótimo. Caso contrário, você é o nosso convidado também para voltar depois, voltar a ligar de novo aqui ligar ali no Megafone, ou então voltar aqui na programação, né? Sintonizar aqui esse canal logo após esses 48 minutos. O bom na internet é que na internet você consegue cortar, né? Você não precisa passar por isso. Agora, eu falo assim que você só pula o vídeo. Nesse caso aqui, por ser TV aberta, ou TV assim normal, né? Você tem que pegar e, esperar a entrevista para você voltar. Então, se valer a pena a história do Andreson Loa, você vai poder julgar isso aí depois dos 5 minutos. Não julgue pelas minhas palavras, hein? Eu tentei, na medida do possível, vender a história do cara pra você. Se você acha que não vale a pena, mas pelo menos aguarda 5 minutos. 5 minutinhos aí pra você conhecer a história dele, é tudo que eu te peço. Conheça a história desse homem que é legalzinha, né? Assim, ele tem umas músicas bacanas, tem uma história bacana. Então, fica na sintonia e aí deixa o Andreson Loa entrar na sua casa.
Thank you guys for inviting me on your radio station and TV station.
Obrigado por me receber
it is a great
na rádio e na TV aí no Brasil. É um grande privilégio de ser convidado por aqui. E
I'm grateful for this invitation.
Mostrar minha música para os brasileiros e para o mundo. E agradeço mesmo. Meu nome completo é Kulai Andreson Loa. Então, o meu nome artístico vem da Costa do Marfim. Então, Loa é o meu nome de família. Sendo assim, Kulai Andreson é o meu primeiro nome, aí eu só fiquei Andreson Loa. E aí você vai conhecer minha história. A minha história é de vida. Eu que vim aqui como imigrante, meio que refugiado aqui para Londres, que morar em Londres. Meu nome de palco é esse, Andreson Loa. E então eu tô aqui em Londres tocando. Tenho esse nome artístico. E vim aí de uma vida de refugiado, que você vai conhecer a história. Te convido para conhecer minha história. Se conhecer alguém que veio lá da Costa do Marfim, na África, e que trabalha aqui em Londres, tanto na música como também fora. Tem uma música que está lançando, inclusive, que você vai conhecer logo logo aí, que daqui pouco tempo.
and end up with
Então,
this negotiation.
conheça a minha história, fica na sintonia, não sai daí não. A minha história é muito interessante, a minha história de vida, eu faço questão de compartilhar com você. Deixa eu entrar na sua casa e te contar a minha história de sobrevivência, tá? Minha história de sobrevivência, eu que tô morando em Londres desde 1994. Você quer conhecer então a história de um refugiado, você que é jornalista, então fica aí na sintonia.
With my creative process, I use to record my song, to create music every time I get an inspiration. It can be anywhere, it can be at night, it can be even when I am at work, at college. Some ideas come to me and I start writing them down. And when I get home, go on my computer and I start creating some tunes according to what I have in mind. And most of the time, I get my inspiration from when I am in the bathroom. So quiet in the night, at any time I am in the bathroom, and for all my entire life, anything I do, I get my inspiration in the bathroom most of the time. And when this happens, I just drop in my room and I start writing, copying things down, and creating rhymes, and practicing, rehearsing. And when now it comes to creating the music itself and the songs, then I got some friends and also some staff I work with to get involved and make it a bit posh. So as a team, we come together to create the music and to make it interesting for the people to listen to and play. So that is how I really create my music. And I create my music myself. I create my songs myself because I decided to do music because I have a mission to achieve, and I use every opportunity given to me to create song every time. Therefore, I strongly believe myself because I rely on myself, great confidence, and for some time you rely on people to create song for yourself. So if they have no inspiration, how are you going to do it? So I get inspired every time, and my brain is working all the time to make sure that I get song. And I have written actually about 37 songs, which are kept, and I will release them gradually over time and update them to fit with realities, what is going on practically in everyday life. So that is how I do create my music.
Descreva o processo criativo para escrever as suas músicas.
My achievement and my proudest moment in music. Let me tell you guys that it hasn't been very easy a start to my career. I released my first song, Change Your Mind, in December 2000. as in 2019. And in January 2020, we had an outbreak of COVID-19, and my career, my debut was really hampered. It was frustrating, a very difficult moment around the world. Everyone, all artists suffered that. So my first release was really not successful due to COVID-19. And also I managed at that time, late 2020, to release a second single, which is Rise Up For Your Life. Also that second tune didn't go through well because of the COVID restriction. So everything were done online. So I was having some conference, some online shows, networking with people around the world through the internet. So it was that moment was very stressful, of course, but it helped me network as a new artist, network with so many people from around the world, from America, Australia, and we will get together, United Kingdom, get together online and have some concert online, but the technique, the quality of the work was not really that because of poor internet connection sometimes, and that really was not helpful. So it was a really pitiful situation at that time, and I had someone to thank very much, Debbie Gold of Resonance Radio. At that time, she was the one who pulled me out of the crowd despite the COVID restriction. She took the risk to put me in the crowd, revealed me to the public by having an interview, crucial interview, in which I had the chance for the first time to be on the radio in London on Resonance FM radio, where I express my music to the world, and everything started from there. And later in 2001, with the ease on COVID-19 restriction, because in the United Kingdom, the government released, I think from by July 2021, the government eased the pressure, the restriction on COVID. So I took that opportunity when we had some time to get out, to go shopping and around, and but not very far. So I used that opportunity, that window given to us, to record my third single called Pick Up Your Phone, in which I released in October 2021. And that song put me really in the public eyes, because it was a challenging song I wrote, challenging for the simple reason that it is a different rhythm, melody to reggae, traditional reggae, because I wrote it in 2020 and 2020, and I wanted to produce that song, the Decale reggae music. That is my own creativity. But many people, some friends put me off, advised me that it won't work because the reggae is such established music that doing something as an unknown, completely independent artist to do such a rhythm, it won't work. It won't work. So I put it aside, and I continued with traditional established reggae. But something told me in October 2021 that I had to record that song. So I follow my intuition and I recorded that song, and it came out in October 2021. And that is the song, Decale reggae songs, which really revealed me to the world, because it was a different approach to reggae, some different tune to reggae and different way of dancing it. And that song really put me in the public eyes. And that rhythm is called a combination of reggae music and traditional reggae and reggae from Decale Coupe music from Ivory Coast. So I like both Decale Coupe music and traditional root reggae from Bob Marley. So I made the junctions, created that range to produce my own music, which is Decale reggae music. The philosophy is reggae because I'm a Rastafari. I am a Rastaman. I am a Rastaman. So I incorporated that music from Ivory Coast, the Decale Coupe music, and I incorporated to create my own rhythm. So that is what I mean by Decale reggae music. And that song was really successful, but I didn't make it through at that stage. And I said, okay, in December 2021, that is in about 3 months, I released on the 31st, I think the 30th or the 31st of December 2021, Life is Beautiful. Life is Beautiful, which is my second Decale Coupe reggae song. And it is effectively this song which brought me success, which brought me where I am actually as an independent musician. And this song got me the top 10 spots on Spotify, because there were so to be in the top 10 on Spotify, you have to be something you very you need to have something very different and of high quality to be there. So I've been in January 2000 in the new year 2022 elected as one of the top 10 artists on Spotify, and also recognized by my distributor as one of the best artists. And I've been invited by TuneCore to join the circle of the best artists I've ever produced. So that is one of my achievements as a new artist actually in the showbiz. So it is a very great moment, and actually I'm working on this music, developing this Decale reggae music, which is in the category of Afropop with the combination of Decale of reggae and Decale Coupe music. That is my own creation, and I'm very proud of that. And actually those who advised me not to do that film actually started praising me for taking that risk to create some things alongside the what we call traditional roots reggae from Bob Marley. I am typical Bob Marley, and I like his music. And the second person I like is Alpha Blondy from Ivory Coast, where I normally originated from. So that is actually my achievement, and I'm very proud, and I'm working very hard to take my career further. And so I think that in 5 years' time, I will be at the summit of my music.
Qual o maior destaque na sua carreira até agora?
So what made me to be who I am is because I want to be who I am. Because the music in every life sphere, if you want to stand out, from the public, you have to be different. You have to be different. So if you are different, unique, and creating something authentic, which is people has never heard about, that will bring you in the public spot. And I took the challenge to create the Decale reggae music. And actually, I am connected to so many groups on Facebook, so many reggae group fans on Facebook. And sometimes I use those platform to dispatch my Decale reggae genre. And sometimes I ask myself whether people will like it, whether people will accept it, because there are in some group, the rhythm you are doing has to be typical reggae. It has to be reggae. So the type of music I'm doing is Decale Coupé or Decale reggae, which is based on Decale Coupé and on the reggae. I said, okay, if I share my music into this core traditional reggae, people would like it. And I said, okay, I share it, my 2 songs, and share also my other traditional reggae music, because I do touring, I do roots reggae, and I'll also do Decale reggae. So I share both of them. And actually the return was that more people like the new rhythm I created, Decale reggae, than the traditional reggae I do, which means to me that it is working, because even when you submit your music to those groups, they have to approve it. If they don't approve it, it can't be seen by other people, but because it has to be reggae. But when they listen to my songs in those reggae group on Facebook, most of the time, and I've never been rejected, they all time approve my music. So that's it. So it tells me that you have to be different to succeed. You can succeed, but you will create something. You will have an impact, an influence in the showbiz by doing something different. And I am myself, and I want to be myself. Yes, I get my inspiration from Bob Marley. That's it, because he has a great influence on me, and also Alpha Blondy, because I've seen these 2 guys working very hard, doing things to succeed. So I have that determination from them to work hard and be myself. So being myself, everyone want to be unique. I am unique, and I don't want to be anyone like. But I got my inspiration from both Alpha Blondy and Bob Marley.
Existe algum significado oculto nas suas músicas?
In my music, there is no hidden message. There is no hidden message in my music. My music is bold, because I do not believe in the use of parables, okay, to pass on a message. Because I use this philosophy from the Zulu music in Ivory Coast. So, okay, the Zulu music, the Zulu is a music that had been created by the student at the time. I originate from Ivory Coast, and that the Zulu music stated that you have to say exactly what you want to say without using any parable, any disguise, approach, message. So you have to tell in both what you want to say, so people can hear what your problem is. Because by saying using some parable, you are leaving people to interpret what you want to say. So I'm straightforward in my in my music, in my messages, and my messages are clear, and there is no chance of a hidden message. So for the simple reason that I believe that you need to, if you're having problems, to express your problem as they are. If you see problem in society, you have to describe them as they are, so people can understand exactly what is going on. That is why I'm straightforward. I see things politically, I describe them, I sing about them as I see them. And sometimes some journalists take look at me as Peter Toshinoke, with a direct language as a revolutionary. I'm not a revolutionary. Yes, I'm a revolutionary in the sense that I'm creating a new regulations which I think can revolutionize as well reggae with new tunes, and allow people, young people in the future, to take on that Decade reggae. That is my revolution, but my revolution is not the revolution of people journalists are talking about. It's not that I see, but I say what I want to say straightforward. Someone is doing something dirty. Why shall I say that he's doing something white or red? A red color is a red color, a white color is a white color, a black color is a black color. So I exactly say what I see, and I say what I think. That is what. So there is no disguise like a message in my music, and my music is positive. I'm doing what I call eclectic music. An eclectic music, I call it eclectic music because I use what is good from reggae and what is good from coupe de Cali to make a junction, and I sent out a positive message. And I am also from a psychology background. I am a lecturer in psychology, so I believe that as a psychologist in doing music, I also have a responsibility to send out a positive message that can help people heal their problems while enjoying themselves. So I issue positive messages in my music. And when you look at, you listen to, for example, Dry Your Tears, which is my latest release. Dry Your Tears is a positive song encouraging people to live their life as normal, because when someone died, there is nothing you can do about it. When the Lord has spoken, you have no chance of stopping someone from dying. So that is the Lord's decision. So why shall you continue to mourn over and over? So by mourning, you are heading yourself to the grave, and therefore, I think that I need to issue some positive messages that encourage people to live their life better. It's okay? And whether you are a black person, a white person, an Indian, a Chinese, we die the same way. And when the Lord has spoken, God has decided that if God decides that right now it is my time to go, I'm going. So I have no time, to be sad. So I enjoy my life positively, and when my time has come, I will be going. So if I have to wait to be rich, to be happy, then, I don't know when I will be happy. That is how so many people think. So I use positive message. And my song, Life is Beautiful, which is a Tekale reggae song, which got me to the world, is that song, positive message I send out to people.
Tem artistas ou situações que inspiram a sua música?
There are situations that inspired me, and there are artists that inspired me. And as a Rasta, you need to be aware of what is going around you in society, around your family, around you. That is what Rasta means. So you need to have a political awareness, a social and economic awareness, and looking at the condition you live in. And as a child, I grew up in difficult hardship because my father was a retired World War II army officer, but he has never received his pension due to political, his political opinion at the time. So it was sanctioned for that. So he had to become a farmer and relies on agricultural product. But that was not enough, to bring my sister and myself up, because he will get some money periodically, because the coffee and cocoa do not produce regularly, they are periodic. So we have that cash periodically every year. And when that period passed, we had to starve, and it was very difficult. So my childhood, my personal experience shaped my music. And when I look at people around me, starving, having no food, and it was a very pitiful situation at the time. And I grew up at the age of 10 because of that circumstance, health difficult situations. I left my family at the age of 10, and I went to my paternal parents, from where I worked very hard, and I paid at the age of 10 for my own education, and I got admitted at the age of 11 and a half. I got admitted to college for the first time back home in Ivory Coast. And it hadn't been a rosy childhood I had. So my life has been a life of struggle every time until I passed my baccalaureate, and I passed it, I went to university. And when I was at university in Ivory Coast, there were struggles. The government was not paying our scholarship. So it was a bit of a struggle. So my life was an entire struggle. So I learned from all these things. And in 1994, there was a witch hunt against university students in Ivory Coast. Then I thought that my life was really at risk because I was involved in this university student union as one of the leaders. And my life was at risk, and I decided to leave. So I left my beautiful Ivory Coast on 7th September 1994 for England, and I arrived in England on the 8th of September 1994. And since then, I've been living here. And here as well, life have never been rosy. I have to fight very hard to make my way. And when I completed my degree at University of East London in psychology, I decided, I started working as an immigration caseworker. And 2 years after, I decided to turn to teaching in order to have a stable professional career. That's how I became a teacher, and I trained at the University of Wolverhampton. So you could see that my life has been very hard, not straightforward, and all this built my character. It built my character. And I look back home, while in England, I look back home how people were living, and also poverty in Africa. While we have everything, then I started questioning everything why things were happening that way and what can I do about it. And I said there are two things I can do. Then help children in Africa get a better education, and also do music to talk about what is happening there, and and raise the cash and to help young children. And that's what really happened. And I learned this, and I said that what is the best way of doing this to achieve this goal? It is by doing reggae, because with reggae you can express what you want to do easily. And I adopted Bob Marley's style and his music, the way he does things, the way he looks, his creativity, and really impressed me. And also Alpha Blondy was the one who really impressed me, because as a child in Ivory Coast, Alpha Blondy was he is from Ivory Coast, and as a child at college at that time, he was the one I was listening to. Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and Bernie Spears, Eric Donaldson music from Jamaica on the radio at the time. But my English was not that very good. So I bought a dictionary, English dictionary, and I would translate, work out some few words from what they did in order to understand what they were saying. But my understanding of what they were saying was not that great at the time. So it was Alpha Blondy actually who physically brought reggae music to me, because we could see him on TV playing, and I could also go attend his concert at the time, and he was singing reggae in the local language, so we could understand exactly what it was saying. So I thank Alpha Blondy for the great job he did in the reggae music, and also Bob Marley for what he did, he left behind for generations. So today reggae is what it is. So that is how I started reggae music. That is how I became a Rastafarian, because being a Rasta, some people think that it is about smoking ganja or drinking or whatever. It is not, or having dreadlocks. And when you look my head here, I have no hair. I am the only reggae man who has no hair. I have no dreadlocks, but I'm a Rasta. A Rasta does not mean that necessarily having dreadlock. It is having dreadlocks is a style you can adopt. So dreadlocks, and because Bob Marley has dreadlocks, and he was doing reggae music, so both tied together. So people think that having dreadlock is reggae, but it is not reggae. It is not reggae. So being a Rasta means that you have to be politically aware, socially aware, have that awareness, consciousness about what is going on in society, and talk about it. And one of the second things about Rastafarism is that a Rasta is someone who loves the others. So you have a passion for love. You love the others, other people, because in order to help other people, you need to love them. And that is what I believe in, helping people. And my entire life, I've been helping people. And when I reach what I want to reach in a few years' time, certainly I will create some charities devoted to reducing poverty in a struggling country, not only limited to Africa, but anywhere in the world where children will be at risk of starvation and people will be at risk of starvation. I will intervene to help. That is what being Rasta is.
Tem artistas ou situações que inspiram a sua música ou o seu trabalho da sua vida?
And my motto in my music, as I said earlier, my music is about positiveness. 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 Because there are situations that can happen to you. If you take a defeating approach to a situation, then you are more likely to engage in failure and committing suicide sometime. So I use what I call positive messages. And I tell people to believe themselves. Because I think that God created everyone and He gave everyone the chance, the equipment, the intelligence to do what they want to do. And therefore, you have to believe yourself. If you don't believe yourself, no one will help you. And some people say that they have to go to church and pray and this and that. You can go to church and pray. You will listen to the pastor with the Bible and pray from day and night. You can go to the church, to the mosque and pray. But when you get home, at the end of the day, you are alone, face to face with your destiny, face to face with your life. The pastor will not come to cook your food. The pastor will not come to change your life. He just gave you some emotional support. He just gave you a kind of boost. So you have to take the lead of your life. So you hold the key to your own life. You hold the key to your destiny. I take an example. I tell my students every time, teachers can teach. Your parent can do what they can for you to go to school. But it is you who need to sit your exam, revise and sit your exam and pass your exam. But if you fail to do it, no teacher will do it for you. And you have to believe yourself. If you believe yourself, you can climb mountains and achieve what you want to do. But if you don't have that belief, I do not think that you're going to succeed, even if you will have billions of pastors around you. You won't make it. So you need to have self-belief. You need to have direction, know what you want to do, and remain positive. And failure, when failure happens, failure that happened to you has to become a source of motivation. So I call failure a success. When I fail, I succeed because I learn from what made me fail to improve myself. But I don't listen to what people tell me. I speak my mind. I do what my intuition tells me to do, and I to get where I want to get. I'm a French speaker, but I sing in English. That is how it has to be. You should have to take challenges and don't wait on anyone to help you. Because if you rely on people to do it, to do your stuff, they will let you down. And I give you an example. I had a friend. I asked a friend to help me build my website at the time. And I started. And when he noticed that I was putting some interesting information from my website, he became jealous and he locked it. So what could I do? He locked it. He changed to lock it. I couldn't have access to my website. The website I paid with my own money. He locked it. Then I decided, okay, I'm not going to hire anyone. I'm going on training. It took me time. I went on training. I trained in web design. Now today I can design my own website. So you have to take responsibility for your own destiny. God will help you get where you want to get only if you believe yourself and you work very hard. And not by sitting down and with the Bible or the Quran in your hand and waiting for miracle to happen from the sky. No miracle will happen from the sky. You have to work for miracle to happen. That is my motion. That is what I believe. And that is what I teach my students. That is what I teach everybody, people around me. Believe to achieve. And that is one of the title, the title of one of my songs, which I already wrote. And at some point I will also release. And never, no one will help you is another song, also in the same registry, that if you don't do it, you will be waiting in vain.
Qual seria o seu lema e um bom conselho que você nos dá?
So my future plans is to be on the stage, having some concert, more and more concerts, because one thing is to do music in the studio and uh, uh, on the radio, having interviews, but you have to be on the stage. And I am a great performer, and I think that being on the stage will be the nice on the cake to share with my fans and really enjoy music with the people, because people listen to you on radios, on TV, they see you, but if they don't see you on stage, I don't want to be that artist who are just office based on social media and doesn't interact with the public, with his fans. And I would like here to thank my fans from England and from around the world, and my fan group called Andy's Army. The Andy's Army, they are a group of young people who came together. They love my music, the new rhythm I'm doing, the Kali reggae, they love it, and they created this Andy's Army. So Andy's Army, I'm here to thank you today for the hard work you did, because I will never be where I am actually without you guys, without your support. So I give you credit for all the love, attentions, and support you give me, because music with no fans is not music. So my plans, okay, in 5 years' time, is to be on the stage and beyond that, become a global star. And that is all what all musicians, all artists, all professionals aspire to be recognized globally as a reggae star, particularly doing Dekale reggae music. So that is my plan for the future, and I'm working very hard for that, and I'm determined to achieve it, and I will achieve it, because I work day and night tirelessly to achieve that goal. And I have the skill, the experience, and the motivations, and the charisma to achieve it. And I will achieve it in 5 years' time, or 5 to 10 years' time. I will achieve it.
Conte-nos sobre o lugar que você vive.
Yes, I live in Birmingham, in England, and sometimes also in London. So I originated from the Ivory Coast in West Africa, which is a French-speaking country. So I come from the west of Ivory Coast. And as I said earlier, I fled my country in 1994 because of repression, student repressions, dictatorship at the time. So I fled as a political refugee from Ivory Coast at the time. And in 2003, naturalized as a British citizen, and since then I'm working as a British citizen, and I'm grateful to England for all the chances they gave me, all the facilities they gave me to improve my life and protect my life, okay, from those brutal regimes in Ivory Coast and in Africa. So you can understand why actually most of my music, my song, I'm very critical of the African president, African leaders, because they are the one responsible for the misery of the African youth. And I can't understand that Africa has everything, and our children die in the sea looking for promised land in Europe. And I think in 2015 I visited Lampedusa after the Lampedusa disaster, where more than 6,000 African youth died in the sea, just crossing, living, fleeing poverty in Africa, coming to Europe. So it is really dramatic, it is really beautiful, and that's really prompted me to engage in reggae music, because I have to tell the truth to these African leaders. That is why I say that I'm not using a disguised language message, I have to be bold so that they get my message, and it works. It really works. So being bold works. So I live in England, in Birmingham. I also live in London. So I am in between London and England. So I'm grateful to the British public, also because my music is made here, and I would like to thank Birmingham Recording Studio where I record my music, and
Conte-nos um pouquinho mais sobre o videoclipe que foram gravados e onde foram gravados.
my friends, my colleagues who work with me there, and Yanis is a magic maker, and really we work tirelessly to produce our song. And actually I'm working on the new song which will come out in August 2023, and this song is called War is a Calamity. So this song is depicting what is going on actually in the world, because I do not see why we have to engage in war, and they get in war and will end up with a peace negotiation and to sign peace deal. So why not start by looking for peace resolutions before starting killing each other, innocent people who pay the evil price for what they are not responsible for. So that's the new song. And in December, I will be releasing in December, late December for the new year, another song which also I'm working on. So I have 2 singles coming very soon, one in August and another one in December again. And thank you guys for inviting me and to talk to the Brazilians and to the world about my music. And my name is Andreson Loa. I'm also known as Andy the Golden One. I am the Golden One because I do a golden music for the golden public, and I have some golden fans, Andy's Army, based in the West Midlands in England and in London. Ja Rastafari.
Population fâchée là, Ibena, Orila, population nous là, oh belle, là, liberate, il chéri balé, liberate, les prisonniers politiques, ils ont promis changer mon pays. Mon pays a vraiment changé. Abidjan, la perle, est devenue la peur. Y a des encagoulés dans mon pays. C'est la démocratie encagoulée. Y a des microbes dans mon pays. C'est la démocratie à la machette. On casse maison dans mon pays. On dort dans cimetière. Les femmes sont coagulées à cause du poison. Les hommes ont peur. On ne sait pas qui est qui. Moko Djuku, Ibena Yokonye. Djuku man, Ibena Yokonye. Les populations fâchées là. Ibena, Orila, la population nous dit là, oh belle, là, liberate, il chéri balé, liberate, les prisonniers politiques, juguya, 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 juguya. Ogo jugu, jusu talefe, irita jusu kron. Oka kakao weri sonya, oka kafe weri sonya, oka fembe weri sonya. Fembe son kasia, maloboro son kasia, sukaro son kasia, yangarobe mogofaka, konkobe mogofaka. On parle un peu, c'est la prison. On est traumatisé en Côte d'Ivoire. Moko juku, ibena yokonye, juku man, ibena yokonye. Les populations fâchées là, ibena orila, les populations mlontila, obele dikila. Liberate, il chéri balé. Liberate, liberate, les prisonniers politiques.
Oi, galerinha, tudo bem? A gente está aqui trazendo pela segunda vez Andreson Loa com esse grande sucesso Life is Beautiful. Bora lá curtir esse som?
Il y a des gens qui ont tout, mais qui sont très malheureux. D'autres n'ont rien du tout, mais ils sont très heureux. Some people have everything, but they are very sad. Other people have nothing, but they are very happy. Happiness have no price. Life beautiful, oh, one way they go side. Life iron, one way they go side. La vie est belle, oh, quand on prend le bon côté. My lovely student, you get to be happy. Happiness is good for your brain. Black and white, Indian, Chinese, we get to be happy. Life is very short. When mighty God has spoken, there is no time. Time for an extension to our life. Happiness have no price. Life beautiful, oh, one way they go side. Life is iron, one way they go side. La vie est belle, oh, quand on prend le bon côté. Jaja Rastafari, reggae music. Jaja Rastafari, reggae music. Décalé, reggae music. Stephanie Awio, life is beautiful. Serena, Serena, Serena Sharma. You are charming like a Sharma. Serena, oh Sharma. Mr. Marcus Kaplan, Mr. Kaplan, life is beautiful. We get to be happy. Life is very short. When Jack was spoken, there is no time for an extension to our life. I have no time to be sad. I have no time to be sad. Life beautiful, oh, one way they go side. Life is iron, one way they go side. your tears. As I know you gonna have a good time. When your mom passed away, it was very sad. I was miles away. My heart could feel your sorrow. I could see your teardrops. I could hear your cries. You did everything you could do, but she was gone away, gone forever. There is nothing how you can do. You should better dry your tears, dry your tears, dry your tears. Oh baby, I love you, as I know. As I know, as I know, you're gonna have a good time, As I know it is dry your tears, dry your tears. As I know you're gonna have a good time, My sweet love, my heart is with you. My compassion is for you. You're gonna have a good time. Ah, yeah, oh, yeah, no. Yeah, yo, leka. Yam yepri la ko yo. Sabanaji, oh, leka. Ah, yeah, oh, yeah, no. As I know it is dry your tears, dry your tears. As I know you're gonna have a good time, Black and white Jones, everyone, it is hard to lose a mother, but there is nothing you can do. My compassion is with you. You should better dry your tears, as I know, as I know, as I know it is dry your tears, dry your tears. As I know you're gonna have a good time, Cha Rastafari.
Yeah, man.
Cha love.
Yeah, man.
Jah protect. Yes, mate. Ire.
E a gente volta na semana que vem sem falta. Obrigado pela sua audiência e pela sua companhia.